From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, 10 illegal miners arrested in Zamfara State as 14-year-old bandit errand boy is arrested. House of Representatives begins investigations into importation of adulterated fuel as President Buhari asks suppliers to give account. Waterfront communities in Port Harcourt cry out over eviction from homes. And on the foreign scene, shrapnel wounds 12 as Saudi defenses blow up drone near airport. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Hour. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Now the news in detail. Operatives of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) in Zamfara State raided 2 mining sites, apprehending 10 illegal miners in communities in Talata Mafara local government area of the state. Some elements still carry out illegal mining activities in the area, despite ban by the federal government on activities in the state due to insecurity. A 14-year-old errand boy of bandits leader Bello Turji was also arrested by the paramilitary organization. The report.
As part of effort to curb activities of illegal mining in Zamfara State, the operatives of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) stormed 2 separate mining sites at Murki and Tunga Bay communities in Talata Marafa local government area, where they apprehended 10 illegal miners. The NSCDC operators also confiscated 8 motorcycles, 9 bags of precious stones, and several tools, including 1 Dane gun, which the local security outfit is using to guard them in the bush.
A good 9 persons have been arrested. 10 persons have been arrested, 3 from the mining site, and then 7 from where it is being processed. So altogether 10. Yes, about 8 motorcycles were confiscated. Those motorcycles belong to the illegal miners. You may be surprised to know that these miners are even having local securities guiding them, which means it's an organized syndicate. Local security, if you look at behind me, you will see a day gun that we apprehended from one of the local security men guiding them. So even those that are using motorcycle, they are there as errand boys. They use the motorcycle to convert the finished product, the mined product, to where they can get the finished product.
The NSCDC has warned those engaged in illegal mining activities in Zamfara State to desist from the unlawful act, as it will spare no one found culpable.
So we are working on it. We are trying to get more stories from him to see how, if possible, rehabilitate him and then go after those who he will reveal that are his masters in due course.
One of the illegal miners said they're engaging in mining activities because there's no legal work to feed their families, and if the government wants them to stop, it should provide alternative job for them.
We are
employed as laborers to work on the mining site to get money to cater for ourselves and families. Our employers used to give us 500 naira per day to eat. We are aware of the federal government's ban on mining activities. We are poor people, and if we don't go out to look for what to do or to do illegal mining to earn a living or to feed, we do not have vocational skill or job. Also, the bandits are terrorizing us, rustled our animals. That is why we are engaged in illegal mining activities to survive.
2 operatives of the Corps were attacked during the operation and were left with different degree of injuries. NSCDC operatives succeeded in arresting 14-year-old boy who is an errand boy of terrorist kingpin Bello Turji. The boy confessed that Bello Turji has trained him on how to operate any type of weapon. According to the Public Relations Officer of the Corps in the state, Ikoche, the 14-year-old boy Sani Suleiman takes advantage of female victims by having carnal knowledge of them, and he has been used as a bait for kidnapping.
7,534 applicants seeking to join the Nigeria Police Force as constables and other ranks are undergoing screening in Kaduna. Police Public Relations Officer in the state, ASP Jalige Mohammed, says the screening process is a thorough one in order to avoid recruiting bad eggs into the force. The report.
The screening involves physical examination and credential screening. The exercise is a carryover from 2001. According to ASP Jalige, all applicants must meet the requirements in order to ensure integrity in the system.
The whole process is attached to the national identity number of all applicants. That has eased our difficulties in the screening. Right from application, if you are overage, if you are more than 26 years, the system will reject your application automatically. And also if you are under height, there is a required height we want in the police. So if you are under height, the system rejects you automatically. The total number of applicants to be screened here in Kaduna State is 7,534 applicants.
The State Intelligence Bureau of the Police and other relevant bodies are part of the system to ensure that only candidates with good characters are screened.
So far, we have not faced any challenge, considering the fact that we have representatives from the Kaduna State government, as well as recruitment officers from all local governments. We have been working hand in hand with them to ensure a hitch-free exercise. And from our own side, the police, we have our the SIB personnel, our intelligence, the intelligence unit of the Nigerian Police Force. We have a desk here at the screening point where they screen and ensure that all applicants are of good character to avoid bringing in bad eggs into the Nigerian Police Force.
The applicants are drawn from the 23 local governments of Kaduna State, and so far, more than 2,500 have been screened, and the exercise is still ongoing.
Meanwhile, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have again intercepted 40,250 kilograms of the Schedule 2 controlled narcotic worth over 2 billion naira imported in 2 4-feet containers from India. The drug best comes from on the heels of a similar seizure of 14,080 kilograms of codeine syrup and 4,352 kg of gold caps used to conceal the container imported from India on Wednesday at Apapa port. The seizure follows intelligence from foreign partners and cooperation of other port stakeholders such as Customs, DSS, Navy and others. The latest consignments intercepted on Tuesday were brought into the country in 2 containers marked HLBU 2239792 with 1,125 cartons of the drug and HLBU 1067338 with 1,751 cartons with a market value of over 2 billion naira. The consignments were seized at the port Express Bonded Terminal, Berja, Apapa, as they were discovered concealed behind cartons of Hyperga 200 milligrams and deluxe chili cutters, which the agency's sniffer dogs were brought in to identify the illegal substance. Reacting to the latest seizure, Chairman of the NDLEA, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, said the agency remains poised to deal decisive blows to drug cartels this year by ensuring that no gram of illicit drug is allowed to come through or pass through Nigeria to other countries. While commending the officers and men of the Apapa Port Special Area Command of the agency for their vigilance, he expressed gratitude to foreign partners for sharing timely intelligence and other port stakeholders for their cooperation. Communities living in waterfront areas in River State cry out over the state's government plan to evict more communities from their homes. The state task force visited several waterfront communities in the Diobu axis of Port Harcourt, marking homes for demolition. The task force told residents they should vacate within 7 days. The victims expressed displeasure over the attitude of the state government and its insensitivity to the plight of the people to be displaced. The report.
Days after the demolition of waterfront communities in Diobu axis of Port Harcourt, some victims said that they are now homeless without food. Some of the affected women narrate what they are going through, since their houses were demolished.
Even if we're to pack, Kosi demands that, yes, they told us that on the 26th they're coming to destroy this place, but not this place. That they had to go round the waterside, and because there's an old road, and the road does not connect to this building. And if the Honorable Governor, His Excellency, want to do this, Kosi demands, God, for God-fearing sake, you should remember people. I am a civil servant. I work with the River State government. The road will not start from here. So how come they will start with my own house? I applied for government quotas, they denied me of it, and the one I'm using to help myself and my children, I have driven out like a common criminal. Is it good?
As I see now road now just there. No, we are out to yourself, no problem. No help, nobody. That's Saturday when they scatter herself. My junior star just born. If for them video herself for good, them she just born without no treatment, no nothing. As I talk to you, say outside now she did help from him. As him be governor to help poor, not to oppress poor. As we don't like to not get anything. Through year now they live, they look at our children. As him purchase, no help. Since I day now, no help. My children they don't go school.
No any form of arrangement to pay landlords if you're not paying tenants, which is also wrong. We voted you in as a governor, not for you to keep us homeless. It is so wrong. Thank you. People are barely surviving to eat 3 square meals, and now you're putting us through this pressure. Is it good?
I don't know. It's find something to do for me now. I need to live. The place to live.
Endurance Odudu, a visually impaired, explains how it's been difficult for him since the demolition.
Things I do since that day till today. I need to no help, nothing. I just sleep outside till today. Since that Saturday till now. This one week and 2 days now at the outside. Without no help, nothing.
Some of the market women called on the government to reconsider its plans, adding that it was their financial status that relegated them to the area.
To rent a shop now or go my one market, if you know 100 and something thousand, they no go give you space. And yeah, now free. May they help us, I beg. We pay small money.
I don't stay here now. I dey go 60 years. This waterside, now I stay group. Where my makari train me, I come out. And this waterside where you see, like this. Now we pour more to come build this house so that we go fish stay here, they get fish. I get 4 children. Now here where I born them. Now this place where they train them for university. Now 2 of them they there. If him pursue me, I go manage train these children. I don't get anybody. My husband don't get work. So with the beggar, making consider us because no place where we go, no market where we go. Now this small place now we carry the money with our children.
No feel happy at all. As you see me now, I come to buy fish. So if I come here again, no come see my favorite fish seller. I no go happy now. I no go from here, I say I dey comot go another place, go buy fish now. I no go fit at least for the poor manses. The little money where you get, even if na 500, you go come waterside, buy something to eat. But if you say they go big market, you go like 5,000, 6,000 for one pot of soup. But here, 1,000 if you buy something to eat. Making consider people wey no get too now.
Chairman of the Coalition of Civil Society Organizations in Rivers State, NFA Judge Will, condemned the eviction of the people of the affected areas by the state government. Judge Will said it is estimated that over 10,000 persons will be rendered homeless and driven into poverty by loss of livelihoods and other hardships associated with homelessness and displacement.
They never feel fail for government. Can't carry the blame, can't put for our head. It's not that possible. Anyways, international instrument, that one be said international law, then when Nigeria said don't sign, they are against forced eviction. You don't go just evict people from their houses like that. You go first of all, before you evict people, you go enter meeting with them. You go agree with them. You go create alternative places for them. All these children now, where them go there? The money for River State don't be for only one man.
Yes,
the money for River State are for everybody.
Yes,
that is why I join others to talk, say, our PVC, make we sharpen our well.
Diabu Axis waterfront communities said they have written to the governor to express their concerns and request an urgent audience with him to discuss how to address security concerns and seek win-win partnership as an alternative to eviction and demolition.
Breakdown of the National Identity Management Portal is making life difficult for Nigerians who want to subscribe to telecommunication or banking services. Ibrahim Ismail speaks to some people in Gombe who spend days waiting to register the identity numbers with service providers.
This is an MTN service center, one of the largest in Gombe State. On a normal circumstance, the place used to be crowded with people accessing one service or the other, like SIM swap, SIM registration, among others. But because of a technical fault on the portal of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, services of telecommunication operators are affected and many Nigerians suffer.
I am from Zambuk, 25 miles from Zambuk to Gombe. There is no network, nothing that they can do. And even if I said I will not be coming, as I said before, no the means of corresponding, mingling with my people, my friends, and whatsoever. The reason is that they did not get the network. That's the NIN network. So we can't do otherwise. Nothing that we can do. I came here since 5 days now, but I did not get anything. By going here and there, if we get it, we will raise and we will be happy with it. Then please, I'm urging them, let them release the NIN number.
Sannan na zo yin welcome back yau kwana na hudu kenan ina zuwa nan gudu. Kullum in nazo ba network din wato na NIN number baya.
I have been coming here for 4 days. I want a SIM swap. They keep telling me there is no network and NIN is not validating. They said the problem is not from them. We are worried about the development. I visited a private NIN registration center and met some people who battle multiple challenges while trying to validate their information on NIMC portal. This man wants to verify his date of birth. There is network problem. I suffered a lot. I paid 15,000 naira through Remita in Bauchi. Information Communication Technology specialist said a lot needs to be done to address the problem on the NIMC website.
Yes, it has many implications because most of the people, they are yet to open an account number, but the thing is not moving. It will affect our business definitely. Like now, if you are doing registration, it is moving. But if you want to check the date of birth or to validate the name of the persons, it's not moving. Totally, it's not moving. You don't know what is happening.
Nigerians have been raising concern over some media reports suggesting that the portal of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, has been hacked and data of millions of Nigerians were stolen and compromised. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Petroleum tanker drivers have raised alarm over alleged misappropriation of 621 billion naira road infrastructure tax credit scheme by some government officials in collaboration with politicians. This comes amidst outcry of adulterated fuel importation into the country, a situation which has led to fuel scarcity in some parts of the country. The report.
Addressing journalists in Abuja, National Chairman, Petroleum Tanker Drivers Association of Nigeria, Comrade Salmon Akani, said that some persons were bent on frustrating the repair works as agreed by the stakeholders. Akani noted that aside accidents, the tanker drivers were often exposed to danger, with criminals taking over some parts of the roads. He mentioned that the union has been on the matter of road repairs for more than 3 years with no concrete steps taken.
You will always recall that to avert the situation of industrial action of the union, the management of Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation apprehended the situation by calling the leadership of the union for 2 separate meetings. The 10th of October 2021 in Ibadan and the 12th of October 2021 in Abuja. All critical stakeholders were at this meeting, including FIRS, FRSC, the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, Nigeria Association of Road Transport Owners, and the union, our union. These 2 meetings resulted into signing of communique indicating the readiness and willingness of NNPC to finance the rehabilitation of identified 21 critical roads at an estimated sum of 621 billion through road infrastructure tax credit scheme.
This situation, observers noted, may worsen the fuel scarcity situation if nothing urgent is done.
Meanwhile, House of Representatives has mandated its Committee on Petroleum Resources downstream to investigate the importation of adulterated petroleum into the country. They also called on the Nigeria National Petroleum Company, NNPC, to suspend and investigate the 4 companies allegedly responsible for bringing the adulterated fuel into the country. The report.
This was sequel to the adoption of the motion of urgent national importance by the Chief Whip of the House, Mohammed Monguno, at plenary. The lawmakers stressed that there is a need to put in place systems that would check the quality of petroleum products being imported into the country. Other lawmakers who contributed agreed that the culprits should be brought to book to serve as deterrent. Adopting the motion, the House resolved to invite the NNPC to get to the root of the matter.
There is a need to put in place systems that will check the quality of petroleum products that is being imported into the country. And this incident further reinforces the clamor by all and sundry in Nigeria that the Wari Petroleum Refining Company, the Port Harcourt, our petroleum refining companies should be revamped.
But Mr. Speaker, I believe that there are inspections at the point of loading of this petroleum product. Who are those responsible for inspection at that point? Did they actually perform their responsibility? And I believe that there is inspection at the point of loading, because I don't believe that this PMS was adulterated on the high sea. It probably was adulterated right from the refinery. And so we have to hold our regulatory agencies responsible.
They have brought in from under recovery, they are now saying it is 3 trillion that we have to spend every year. What are they contributing to the economy? And we are returning overhead costs, recurrent costs for the refineries for the past 6-7 years. Mr. Speaker, each time and every day, we will be looking for what is the challenges of security, the consequential effect of the refineries working, and then put into production is the employment of young people.
All innocent Nigerians who fell victim to this adulterated petroleum and their vehicles or whatever they are used have been spoiled should be considered in the investigation, so that the person that brought in this toxic petroleum should take the repairs or replacement of all these equipments that our innocent Nigerians have lost.
My amendment is to urge NNPC to suspend the 4 companies that imported this adulterated fuel that they imported from Belgium, and also direct NNPC to submit the list of the 4 companies to the Committee of Downstream.
The House also called on the Minister of Women Affairs and the National Orientation Agency to organize nationwide sensitization programs to discourage the practice of female genital mutilation. This follows a motion brought by Ganiu Johnson before his colleagues, as he called on them to support the move to put an end to the barbaric practice among various tribes in the country. The House Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development, Information, National Orientation, Ethics and Values are to ensure compliance and report back in 4 weeks for future legislative action.
Cognizant of the dangers which the unwholesome practice portends for the health and well-being of women and girls, ranging from urinary tract infection, infertility, hepatitis, and other blood-borne diseases. Further note that female genital mutilation is an act of violence against women and girls and amounts to violation of the Violence Against Person Prohibition VAPP Act 2015. Worried that about 20 million girls and women in Nigeria and 20% of Nigerian women aged between 15 to 49 years are reported to have undergone female genital mutilation.
Similarly, President Muhammadu Buhari has directed that providers of substandard fuel must be held accountable. The President gave the directive Thursday in a statement by Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu. The Presidency issued this statement following what it called the issue of petroleum product shortages linked to the inadvertent supply of products of foreign origin into the Nigerian market. President Buhari ordered that those producers and providers of consumable products be held accountable for substandard services and/or products sold by them. The President also directed that in line with the law, service providers must make full disclosure of relevant information with respect to the consumption of their products, and those dissatisfied consumers were entitled to a proper redress of their complaints. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has called for the support of envoys in tackling rising insecurity and strengthening of communality. The President made the call Thursday at the State House Abuja while receiving letters of credence from the ambassadors of the Czech Republic, Zdeněk Krejčí, Italy, Stefano De Leo, Spain, Juan Ignacio Cel Sanz, and Israel, Michael Shaul Freeman. President Buhari told the diplomats that the country will continue to make steady progress despite the challenges, especially in the areas of insecurity, fight against corruption, diversification of the economy, and efforts in promoting good governance, among other aspirations. President Buhari urged the ambassadors to build lasting friendships in the course of performing their duties that will go beyond assignments in Nigeria.
We are living in unprecedented times and with so much uncertainties, especially the rise in global insecurity and the devastation of our environment caused by climate change, among other existential threats to our collective peace, progress, and shared values. Different factors that accounted for these challenges go beyond the abilities of any single country to effectively contain alone. Matters of security have become the business of all the nations of the world to work closely together to build a consensus in order to overcome these challenges. For us in Nigeria, we continue to make steady progress despite the daunting challenges, especially in the areas of insecurity, fight against corruption, diversification of the economy, and our efforts in promoting good governance, amongst other aspirations.
The Honorable Ambassadors of the Republic of Italy, the Kingdom of Spain, the State of Israel, and my country, the Czech Republic. We are honored to declare that the relation of all our countries to the Federal Republic of Nigeria are very good and fruitful. We are ready to do our best to develop them even further, and therefore we would like to thank you for giving us this opportunity by granting us the agreement to represent our countries here and to present our letters of credence at this exquisite ceremony today. I think that on behalf of all my colleagues, I can say that we are looking forward to staying in your great country, meeting all variety of your people, and developing comprehensive cooperation between our nations. Thank you.
Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum is confident that the challenges posed by the Boko Haram insurgency will end within the duration of his tenure, which expires in 2023. The governor stated this after a meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa in Abuja on Thursday, where he appraised the president of progress regarding the surrendered insurgents. He said that the surrendered terrorists, numbering 30,000, are a combination of Boko Haram and ISWAP members. You're watching Trust TV News Hour. Coming up after the break. How waste scavengers make fortunes. This and more after the break. Do stay with us.
Coronavirus disease, COVID-19, is an infectious disease caused by SARS-CoV-2 virus. Most people who fall sick with COVID-19 will experience mild to moderate symptoms and recover without special treatment. However, some will become seriously ill and require medical attention. The virus can spread from an infected person's mouth or nose in small liquid particles when they cough, sneeze, speak, sing, or breathe. These particles range from larger respiratory droplets to smaller aerosols. You can be infected by breathing in the virus if you're near someone who has COVID-19 or by touching a contaminated surface and then touching your eyes, nose, or mouth. The virus spreads more easily indoors and in crowded settings. Maintain a safe distance from others at least 2 meters even if they don't appear to be sick. Wear a mask in public, especially indoors or when physical distancing is not possible. Clean your hands often. Use soap and water or an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Cover your nose and mouth with your bent elbow or a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Stay home if you feel unwell. Get vaccinated. Properly fitted masks can help prevent the spread of the virus from the person wearing the mask to others. Masks alone do not protect against COVID-19 and should be combined with physical distancing and hand hygiene. Protect yourself and others around you by knowing the facts and taking appropriate precautions. Follow advice provided by your local health authority. This message is brought to you by Trust TV.
Welcome back. You're still watching Trust TV News Hour. A look at our top stories. Operatives of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) in Zamfara State raid 2 mining sites, apprehending 10 illegal miners at communities in Talata Mafara local government area of the state. And House of Representatives has mandated its Committee on Petroleum Resources downstream to investigate the importation of adulterated petroleum into the country. And moving on to other news now, President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, meets with heads of regulatory agencies in the education sector as part of measures to douse brewing tensions over planned hike in registration fees in some tertiary institutions. Executive Secretary of National University Commission, Professor Abubakar Rashid, Executive Secretary of the National Commission for Colleges of Education, Professor Paulinus Chijoke Okwele, and Bilkisu Salihijo Ahmad, representing the National Board for Technical Education, were in attendance. The report.
The news of tuition fee hike broke some weeks ago, with many of the tertiary institutions across the country affected. This meeting with stakeholders is therefore a crucial one. The Senate President, Ahmed Lawan, the convener of the meeting, told his guests that the meeting is a follow-up to an earlier one held with the coalition of northern groups, the Students' Wing, which brought the matter to the table. He had assured the students of the National Assembly's commitment to their welfare and will do all possible to bring the matter to a level playing ground, noting also that education remains the bedrock of any nation.
The position of our students, particularly at the time that is so difficult. Some at the brink of being very there. We understand that our tertiary institutions have need for more resources, but we also equally understand that our students are mostly from very poor backgrounds, and we must do everything possible to protect those who are so vulnerable. The finances for their education must never be hurdles between them and actualizing their dreams. So we have to find how this situation is, and then we take the appropriate measures. And because you represent the supervising bodies for tertiary institutions, we felt we should start with you, listen to you, and then we can now find a way out of this. I want to take this opportunity to assure our students across the country that we in the National Assembly and indeed government, the federal government, will always try to work to protect you, to support you to continue with your education.
Responding on behalf of other stakeholders, the National Universities Commission Executive Secretary Professor Rashid Abubakar commended the Senate President for his timely intervention.
On this, sir, I think your concern is shared by all of us. We would at this point be difficult to know exactly which universities are violating or not, but after this meeting, we shall consult all the universities with our template to complete and tell us exactly what charges there are, and we shall advertise so that if we are misled, we shall be able to get to it. We understand that the universities cannot be forced to charge uniform fees across the country because they have different demands and they come from different situations. Possibly a university in Lagos or Port Harcourt may charge slightly more than a university in some rural areas, possibly, but there should be a baseline.
With this meeting, it is hoped that the issue of tuition fee hike will be brought to a mutually beneficial level.
And still talking education, as part of efforts to revitalize the challenges of education in Yobe State, the state government launches an education fund in Abuja with a view to addressing the challenges. The launch attracted prominent sons of Yobe, with Governor Mai Bala Buni, Deputy Governor of Yobe State, Idi Barde Kubana, and other government and private officials in attendance. Trust TV's Nafisa Abdel Al reports.
It is said that education is a human right, a public good, and a public responsibility. In Nigeria, Yobe State is among the states in the country with the largest out-of-school children. While the number of out-of-school children in the state remain a major concern, another issue students face in schools are insurgency attacks. To address this, the Yobe State government launched an education fundraising event in order to refurbish and support the education and development of the state, where handsome donations were made by government and private organizations.
If there is one single sector that you can use to change the world, it's education. And that is what Nelson Mandela said when he said education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world.
I want to make the following donation. Family and friend of Alhaji Dahiru Mangal, 500 million. Myself, Alhaji Dahiru Mangal, 500 million. Total is 1 billion naira.
We know that education is the greatest antidote to poverty, and that we have a duty, indeed a responsibility, to take our people out of poverty. And if we educate them, definitely it is the first stage in the journey out of lifting them from poverty.
Urging all and sundry to donate generously to this noble objective of building the education sector in the state. I've seen the video of the damages done to Yobe State, but I am also asking the Yobe State government to ensure that apart from building back the infrastructure, they should critically examine the need to provide the human resources needs of the state, which is also very important.
Finally, as friends and well-wishers of Yobians have been contributing to this fund, His Excellency the Electoral Governor of Gombe State, despite the large portion of budgetary allocation that has been done to the education sector, directed and approved that a contribution of 5 billion naira will be put into the account of this trust fund.
The role of education is paramount for the peace and development of a country. If a country wants to break the cycle of poverty and insurgency, it is possible with inclusive, equitable, quality education and lifelong opportunities for all. Nafisa Abdul-Al, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, the business of scavengers is primarily the collection of waste from trash bins. From squiggy boys to water sellers, the narrative around young boys who come to the federal capital in search of livelihood continues. But with proper guidance, some of these boys thrive in these petty endeavors. This is the story of two boys, Usman Zaid and Muhammad Sani, who search for waste in the federal capital, regardless of where it is found. Zainab Bala caught up with them.
I came from Kebbi State. I came to Abuja in search of a livelihood. When I came, I met a woman who said she would pay me 5,000 every month to clean her shop, but she would take care of my feeding. After some time, I realized the payment was not enough. I started hawking sachet water. I also realized it was too strenuous and I could hardly get enough to feed from it. I then joined some people from my community to become a scavenger, and I got applauded for that. People told me it was better than stealing or begging. From 500 naira a day, I now get more. I have also started building a house back home. I tried a lot of things when I came. I even tried cutting people's nails for money, but I was bad at it. We both came to this town searching for what to do. I started with sachet water, but it did not work because it was a rainy season. Someone from my village left me with his truck to scavenge, but unfortunately it was stolen while I was fast asleep. I tried looking for someone who can give me another, but it did not work. So I spoke to this friend of mine. That's why we work together.
The FCT Police Command on Thursday announced restriction of movement from 12 midnight of Friday, 11th February to 4 p.m. on Saturday, 12 February in Abuja towards ensuring security during the conduct of the area council elections. Statement by Police Public Relations Officer, FCT Command, DSP Josephine Ade, says the restriction exempts students who are already scheduled to write their WAEC examination nationwide, as well as other essential workers. She warned that those who did not fall within any of these categories and are found wanting will be made to face the full wrath of the law. Meanwhile, Independent National Electoral Commission INEC Federal Capital Territory begins deployment of sensitive electoral materials, including 2,822 body-mall voter accreditation systems, to the 6 area councils of the FCT for Saturday's polls. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports that the deployment commenced shortly after the electoral body took delivery of the materials in the presence of stakeholders in the nation's electoral process. The report.
For area councils election in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, signaling the peak of the preparations for this very important election that is taking place here in Nigeria's capital. And here with us some of the key officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission, which is the electoral umpire.
We are going to inspect the materials. They have been loaded truck by truck, area council by area council, all the facilities. Now here we will call on the political parties, their agents that are here, in the presence of security, in the presence of the press, in the presence of observers, to come and inspect these materials that have been brought, to be sure that everything is intact.
We have ballot papers here, we have result sheets here, we have the beavers loaded in here. And these materials are going to go to these area councils under heavy security, escorted by the political parties, civil society groups and organizations, and also the media.
2,822 bimodal voter accreditation system VBAs are to be deployed to 1,328 polling units across wards of the 6 area councils that made up the Federal Capital Territory, FCT.
We have customized the result sheets and ballot papers based on the number of parties contesting in each of these constituencies. So we have 62 constituencies plus the 6, that is 8 chairmanship. Each of these ballot papers and result sheets differs, and it has been color-coded.
14 political parties fielded 110 candidates for chairmanship and vice chairmanship positions, and 363 councillorship candidates in a political contest to be decided by 1,344,856 accredited voters during the coming Saturday's poll.
So far so good, we are okay with it, and it is our earnest desire and prayer that INEC should keep to the capacity and the level of transparency they are doing now.
By the grace of God, we shall be able to deploy at the first light on Saturday and to conduct this election, and we hope and pray to Almighty God that it will be very peaceful and very sensible, very transparent, and very credible and very inclusive. Everybody will be able to, vote for the candidate of his or her choice.
Thousands of security personnel will secure the election environment, while INEC electoral officers, including ad hoc staff, will conduct the election, which the electoral bodies say will be collated electronically with the use of INEC result viewing portal IREB real time, in line with the INEC technology transformation of the electoral process. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, Resource Center for Human Rights and Civic Education is encouraging original inhabitants of the Federal Capital Territory to come out in their numbers and participate in the forthcoming FCT Area Council elections. The head of communications of the center, Arms Free Ajanaku, made the call during an interview with Trust TV. Ajanaku explained that the most effective way for original inhabitants to get their demands met is by ensuring that the right representatives get into the position of power.
We must situate the situation of the original inhabitants of the FCT. Politically, they've been marginalized over the years. Economically, they have been emasculated. They have a lot at stake in this election. A lot in terms of getting their voices heard, ensuring that they put in place people, men and women, candidates who are vying for these positions, who will then emerge to be able to push their interests in the governance process. Now, you can see that apart from the area council elections, just one Senate position and a couple of positions in the House of Representatives, the original inhabitants of the FCT do not have any other means of participating in the political process. And that is a very huge injustice that through our project of promoting the rights of the original inhabitants of the FCT, we are trying to redress that injustice. But even as you say, okay, the FCT deserves a subnational governance structure to take care of the needs of the people at the grassroots, the area councils also fall under, that aspect of the grassroots we talk about. So we expect the original inhabitants of the FCT to take full advantage of this opportunity to come out, get their voices heard, vote massively, participate in the process, and use it as a stepping stone for the other demands they are making.
And now we'll take business news on News Hour with Fatima Musa.
According to statement on Thursday by the Chief Executive Officer and Group Managing Director, NNPC Limited, Malam Mele Kari, stated that the company received a report from its quality inspector on the presence of emulsion particles in premium motor spirits, PMS, cargoes shipped by 4 companies to Nigeria from Antwerp, Belgium. It is said an investigation revealed the presence of methanol in the cargoes imported by the direct sell, direct purchase suppliers, which were all lifted from Litasco terminal in Antwerp, Belgium. NNPC further blamed its inspector for failing to test imported petrol for presence of methanol. It is said while its inspector tested and certified all the imported cargoes of PMS, the test did not include percent level testing for methanol. Melekari further stated to prevent the distribution of petrol, the company ordered quarantine of all unevacuated volumes and holding back of all the affected products in transit, both trucks and marine. Amidst rising cost of goods and services, local airline raised the alarm over a massive spike in price of aviation fuel currently selling at 400 naira per litre in some airports nationwide across the country. The operator said the unbearable spike has made efficient air transport and affordable airfare unsustainable without either government's intervention or upward review in ticket prices. If the trend continues, air travelers may have to pay more on the already expensive air ticket regime in the country. Aviation fuel, also known as Jet A1, accounts for between 30 to 40% of operational costs in aviation, being the deregulated product that is exclusively controlled by suppliers. The price has consistently been fluctuating along with Naira to dollar exchange rates. That's all for business news. I am Fatima Musa.
Now a look at the foreign scene, where at least 12 people have been injured by shrapnel after Saudi air defenses intercepted and destroyed a drone close to the kingdom's southern border with Yemen. Saudi Arabia-led military coalition battling Yemen's Houthi rebels said on Thursday that travelers and workers of various nationalities had been injured by the falling debris in the vicinity of Abha International Airport. Authorities say air traffic operations returned to normal after standard safety procedures were carried out. There was no immediate claim of responsibility. The coalition has been fighting the Houthis since early 2015 after the group removed Yemen's internationally recognized government from power in the capital, Sana'a. Meanwhile, a suicide bomber targeting a minibus full of delegates involved in Somalia's parliamentary elections killed at least 6 people, leaving 12 others injured in Mogadishu. The incident happened on Thursday as the vehicle was passing a busy junction on the road heading to the president's office in the capital of the East African nation. The Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab armed group, which aims to topple the central government and impose its own severe interpretation of Islamic law, claimed responsibility for the attack, saying it killed 6 delegates and 5 police officers. Somalia's election for lawmakers began on November 11th and were initially supposed to end on December 24th, but are currently due to be completed on February 25th. The attack delegates may represent an additional challenge to the election. A month-long dispute between Somalia's Prime Minister Mohamed Hussein Roble and his potential rival President Mohamed Abdullahi Mohamed has been blamed for the delayed parliamentary elections. And now we will join Adeniyi Ajishafe for sports news.
Senegal FC of Abakaliki has acquired the slot of Ifeanyi in the Nigerian National League. FC Ifeanyi relegated to the second-tier Nigerian National League last season and will not play any part in the NNL League this year. FC Ifeanyi one-time household name in the Nigerian Professional Football League, having played in CAF Confederations Cup with likes of Ikechukwu Ezenwa, Ismaila Gata, Adeleye Olamilekun and many more star players. Senegal FC will play in Southern Conference B2 in the NNL. Kurt Zuma has been fined 2 weeks' wages and his cars taken away by RSPCA after he was filmed kicking and slapping them. West Ham defender Zuma has been strongly criticized after the video went viral. West Ham says they have fined Zuma maximum amount possible, which is 2 weeks' wages of £250,000, with the money donated to animal charities. Meanwhile, German kit manufacturer Adidas has confirmed withdrawing their sponsorship deal with the player. Over 150,000 people have signed a petition calling for prosecution. Zuma has tendered apology to his fans for the act, saying there are no excuses for his behavior, which he sincerely regrets. That's Sport News. I am Adeniyi Ajishafe.
And that wraps up Trust TV News Hour for tonight. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for staying with us.
From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.